Hello, everybody. So today I want to talk about baby adults and the type of behaviors that we do that are actually a part of this defense mechanism in psychology called regression. So first, let me explain what regression is. Regression is when you do things under stressful circumstances or anxiety-induced events that make you relax, right? So imagine a baby crying and the mother gives the baby a pacifier, right? So sticks it in the mouth and the baby relaxes, right? And then, so it's kind of like doing something so you're able to relax, right? And not feel stressed anymore. And the thing is that as adults, we still do this. We can see this like with big type of addictions, right? Where everything is kind of involved with the mouth, right? In psychoanalysis, Freud studied, like you could say the holes in humans, like the anus, right? Which could be a part of our creative intention as human beings, right? It's also a pleasure area, or I think they call it an erogenous area, something like that, an erotic area where, like, if you hold your poo, for example, it feels good. You also have your genitals, right, which are a pleasure, like absolutely a pleasure point in your body, and you have the mouth. The mouth is a type of ease means, or a means to ease like the tension, right? When you eat, when you drink, right? If you're thirsty, you drink through the mouth. If you're hungry, you eat, right, through the mouth. But there are a lot of other things that we do. For example, we chew gum. We chew gum through the mouth. Talking is also a pacifying is also a pacifying activity that we do, right? So I have here a couple that I started to notice in people, right? Like, for example, nail biting. So people that bite their nails, right? That's in some cases you can even see people that bite their nails kind of like literally almost sucking on their thumb, like a baby. Just in general, putting your fingers or your hand up to your mouth, putting a pen or sticking a pen or a pencil in your mouth, right? Chewing gum, like I already said. There was actually this list of things in this book called Teorías de la Personalidad, which I was reading, very interesting, where everything is basically like a pacifying activity. Going to get ice cream, going to the movies, right? In this case, talking like babies, or talking a lot in general. So people that will talk like babies, right? They also will affect this regression, because it literally is like going back to your childhood, right? To your infancy. So it's like you have a problem as an adult and you're kind of like, whoa. And you do this activity where you go get an ice cream cone, right? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with getting an ice cream cone, or there's nothing wrong with going for a walk. Yeah, but basically anything you do is considered a regression if you're trying to avoid the problem, right? Now, I'm not saying you should tackle it all the time. Sometimes you need to, have a clear head in order to tackle the problem or the conflict. But just to have in mind that these type of activities are contributing to kind of running away from the problem, right? So eating is a huge one, right? Smoking anything, just putting a cigarette or anything into your mouth. Drinking alcohol, right? Specifically, losing control, picking your nose, or like I said, face touching or mouth touching. These are kind of interesting. Dreaming awake, right? So when you're just sitting there and then you just like, drift off into nothingness or into your fantasy world, that's also considered like a regression activity. Getting distracted, right? So like someone's talking to you and you kind of like just wander off, which is the same thing as like dreaming awake or daydreaming. Masturbating, driving recklessly, which I think goes hand in hand with losing control, right? Like impatient and you want to fucking go or whatever. Gambling, right? All types of risky behaviors, you can say. Believing in good and bad spirits, feeling like you're being treated unfairly, right? Being superstitious, right? And there are many more, like I mentioned, like going to go get an ice cream, something as innocent as that, right? If it's helping you to avoid the problem, it's a regression activity, right? And you can think of it, like I said, as when you were a baby or a child and you would do these things. So a big question would be to ask yourself, what type of things did I do as a child that I do now as an adult, which make me feel good? And do I do those activities when I'm under pressure, under stress, feeling anxious, feeling sad, feeling negative emotion, right? So these type of behaviors ease or they calm anxiety, right? It's a way of going back. It's a way of feeling nostalgia also. And it's a way of avoiding guilt, you can say. So yeah, I found this kind of interesting to talk about it, to kind of mention it. I have actually been seeing it in people, right? And you can kind of see this in people, like just observe them for a while, and if they do anything with their mouth, right, they're kind of like easing their tension, right? Maybe they're nervous, they're anxious. There's a lot of social anxiety nowadays, right? Like whenever you're in public, I'm guilty of this, 100%. I chew gum, I talk a lot, right? I don't talk a lot like in public, but I'll talk a lot like here, for example, with the videos. I lick my lips a lot, right? Like I'll play. I always think they're like either dry or too moist, or and I'll mess around a lot with my teeth. So yeah, those type of activities, they're basically to help you reduce anxiety. You can observe them in other people, so they're kind of like indicators when you're with other people that maybe they're feeling nervous, maybe they're anxious, and it's worth maybe just taking that into consideration, right? Not so much asking people, why are you nervous, but just like observing it, right? It's a kind of interesting thing to see in people, right? So that's all I got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, subscribe. Thank you for staying till the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.